sensitization, and he has what I call an organized mind with organized values. When he brings on board what he calls Free Nigeria movement, it makes me wonder. It will bring all about not only synergizing the youth, our predecessors, yes, and will lead us to a future that is full of prosperity for posterity. Evidently, he's very much aware of the challenges when it comes to leadership in the developed world, the pros and the cons, the good, the bad, and the ugly. His two books motivates me, and that gives me a lot of confidence. When he talks about pillars of hope in one of those books, he talked about Nigerian dream. He makes me have lots of confidence that they don't call him Mad Mo for nothing. He is very unrepentant and he is unapologetic. He's very dogmatic. Please, I'll hand this over to His Excellency, Ambassador Bob Perry, who served not only in Africa but also South America. Yes, as an ambassador extraordinaire, a statesman with dignity, and my mentor, and who is also willing to accommodate you if you're looking for a mentor.
Countries are paying for. It's American consumers who are paying for those tariffs. First with the companies that bring things in, and then they have to decide at the corporate level how much to absorb and how much to pass on to consumers, which is all of us. It's not something that other countries pay to the U.S. government to ship their goods here. It's we who consume who pay. So thank you very much, Cecilio, for noting that. And the need for other countries in the world, in the global south, to organize, to promote their products to each other. And that is already happening between Africa and Latin America. It is happening. I think some of the Asian companies, Japan, Korea, are also looking at those market opportunities there. So we are unfortunate to have the leadership we have now here in the U.S., but this too shall pass. And it's up to others to promote more balanced global economic development. So at this point, I think I'd like to pass it to Dr.
Yes, he's not a spring chicken. So over to you, Dr. Mo.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sergio, my respected elder, who has continued to inspire us, especially home and abroad, building bridges across the different divides, not just economically, but culturally and socially and politically. We are very grateful to have you share time and space. And thank you also, Ambassador Bob Perry, for the opportunity to be here tonight. Thank you, Queen Mother, Cecilio, and everyone here. Thank you, Rukaya. I see you, Alhaji Dendija. Thank you for the opportunity to be able to speak and to try to attend to some of the issues back home and how we can connect the dot, especially from where we are. It's uniquely, I don't think it's something that is public news. Nigeria sits the most populous Black race on the face of the earth. And Nigeria also, particularly where I am trying to run for office, is a epicenter of that nuance and that energy. And so it becomes something that, in a way, I have done quite some study, having a PhD in environmental resource planning, diving into anthropology and looking at ancestry and some of the nuances around geopolitics to understand where we're coming from as a people. It's not a subject for today, but just to tell you that a lot of studies have been done around Eastern and Northern Africa, but not much around the West Africa where I live and where the most population of people are in Africa. Today, over 80% of the Black diasporans in terms of ancestry come from this particular geographical area where Nigeria is situated. And not much has been done. I've been I've been through the economic turmoils and the political instability and the insecurity that continues to pervade our spaces. All our young people. I mean, I left. My first degree was in 1997, 98. I left school at the 2000, and in Canada, I have 50 of my mates. In America, when I come to New York, we have a portal that has about 20 people. You go to Atlanta. I'm talking about my classmates. We don't even have 10% of us left here. So the best of us who went to university are out across Asia, America, and the rest of the world. So who is left at home? We are left with people who are the people making policies for us are those who are excited to sit with white people, to be dominated. We have clowns and useless people, forgive my French, people who who have no values at all. And so the issue for me is not just about economy, but political. And that's why I'm running for an office, because imagine that I'm running for an office in the municipality of Nigeria that is home to over 150 embassies, that is home to all the foreign expatriates, home to what we call the Aso Rock, which is like the White House, is sitting to the what we call the national assemblies that make the laws and all. And I can tell you, I'm probably the first PhD, no, probably the first graduate contestant, to go into this office. The person there right now did not even finish high school. And that has been the trajectory in the last, nearly 30, 40 years. So this is the issue to deal with, because until we can have political leaders who understand, the issues, we can't even attend to policies of economy, much less talking about what we need to do. So I can read off my manifesto, I can talk about my vision, I can talk about, but all of that in terms of what we need to do economically will go nowhere if we do not have a base of leadership that understand what it means to even attend to these issues. And so tonight for me, I have traveled across the world. I came back from Indonesia just a few months ago, where I was able to touch base with the ministers and the past leaders and presidents. And I know what can be done economically. We don't need any model from anywhere in the world. I mean, we can turn the soya beans, we can turn the sugar cane, we can turn the mangoes, the fruit. These are things that are grown without nothing. You don't need to do anything. I mean, this is home to some of the most brilliant, young, energetic people. 100 million. Nigeria is home to 35 to 18 years old of 100 million people. But because we have no government and people and leaders that understands what to do with these young people, all of these people they've been weaponized into banditry, into kidnapping and terrorism, and because it's a cycle that feeds itself, that cycle continues. So for me, it's more about leadership. Because the day we can get the leadership of Nigeria right, then we can get our economy right. We can get our policies right. We can get our cultural, the narrative that needs to be created. And also we can now begin to help the diaspora. But one thing I know, and why I'm thanking Sir Joe for giving me this opportunity to speak here today, is because like every nation, like China, like Japan, like even the Indonesia, all their leaders across board came to America to study. They studied, but they went back home with the knowledge and power and the connection that they had. And that's why we have the modern China that we have today, the modern Indonesia, all of these countries, even the Dubai that we have today, they all went to places like Great Britain and America to study, but they went back home with the knowledge and the innovation and the technology. And I'm talking to some of the best Black people on the face of the earth right now. And I know that with your help, we can get home right and we can fix the economy. I mean, we are home to trillions of dollars of innovation, just if we can get the political leadership right. Everything you touch in Nigeria is gold. This is, I don't even know how to put it. The country is just too rich in terms of her mineral deposit. The land is just too rich. We can practically feed the world, but here we are. So the discussion tonight is not even about trying to take the level higher, because we are at the lowest level of what life can give. And yet we're sitting on a gold mine. Listen, fathers, mothers, friends, and fellow nation builders. There's a place called Zamfara State in Nigeria. It has more gold than the Gold Coast in Ghana. Some of the most modern equipments that are produced today, Nigeria is home to minerals like, what's the name of these minerals that are using today to create modern batteries that can, all the things that NASA are requiring today, Nigeria is home to those minerals. And yet, here in Nigeria is home to the most poorest group on the face of the earth. Abuja is the capital of Nigeria. There are 32 IDP camps in Abuja. All I can say to us here tonight is, to be the mayor of Abuja in the next 7 months with your cooperation can allow us upturn the nation. Abuja, the AMAC, which I'm running for, is the most cosmopolitan city. It is not just a local council. It is the epicenter of Nigeria, and vis-a-vis the center of the universe of the black people on the face of the earth. To become the chief servant of this space will guarantee and allow us to completely upturn the economic charter of the young people, of all the mineral resources that we've been gifted with, because the chairman or the mayor of the FCT is actually the landlord to this geographical space, which is the base for the administrative, economic, symbolic statue for what you call the center of the global black people on the face of.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. We will be beginning shortly. Good evening, Queen Mother. We will begin shortly.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I am well. Thank you.
Blessings upon you.
Yes, it is an honor to be in your grace. We will
Oh,
be
but
beginning shortly.
okay, I can't wait. I've been up most of the night in the world of medicine,
Okay, that's wonderful.
launching a great book by a medical doctor who is from Bangladesh. And the book title, which you can get it for free out there, um, Bashir, Bashir, can I see the book cover? It's Roots to Cure. Roots, ROTS, to root. Thank you. Root to Cure, CURE. And it's free and it's online. Restore your health with functional and integrative medicine by Dr. Hawk, Haque. Last name, Dr. Hawk, Haque. You should be able to find him. I hung out with him until about 1 o'clock in the morning. He launched his book with us last night. He came in from Texas, but he's from Bangladesh. What a mind. Oh my goodness. You have to get this book.
Uh, one book I'll take note of that. One book I would also recommend for our audience as well is, although this one's not free, but it is a future, an economic future for ourselves that is independent of American hegemony. For the last 100 years, the Americans, particularly, I should say, in the last 75 years, the Americans, in the aftermath of World War II, have created a unipolar system globally through the World Bank, the World Trade Organization, and the International Monetary Fund that has dominated international trade, to the benefit, first and foremost, of Washington, and of the Americans, and at the expense of the sustainable development of the entire global South. And this second Trump administration should be, if the first administration was not a clear indication, that Africa and the broader global South must be able to develop the capacity to build, to develop, to innovate for itself, independent of Western hegemony and American global dominance. The Americans are in decline. They know that they're in decline in Washington. And the world is ready to move on through BRICS Plus, through the G77, through our post-Western, post-liberal alignments. We are ready to move on with or without the Americans. And we have to make clear, as a body that represents the global South, that we don't need Washington to dictate the terms of our relations, both across countries on the continent of Africa and with other countries throughout the global South. That the bellwether of political alignment is not determined in Washington. It's determined in our own national capitals, and it's determined by our own peoples, whether it be in Abuja or Nairobi, whether it be in Cairo or whether it be in Algiers. We must build in Africa for Africans by Africans. We must unite across the global South with our partners in Asia, with our partners in South America, to create resiliency, global resiliency that is not dependent on the Western powers in Brussels and in Washington. And that drives a lot of the discourse that we've been having in the last quarter. It's important to understand that it is an uphill battle. To the transition to a post-Western, post-liberal alignment will be challenging, but we have within the pool of talent and skills, both on the continent of Africa and throughout the diaspora, the means to be able to create a future, again, that is determined by Africans and for Africans. These tariffs are a clear indication that where the Americans lie, they seek to continue to dominate, even as a declining empire. They seek to control the destinies of the global South. And we must unite, again, with the best of our skills, our talents, and our resources to determine our own future and to drive the development discourse on our own terms. And so we need diaspora-led enterprise development. We need a digital infrastructure for tomorrow. We need waste-to-energy systems. We need capital alignment strategies that, again, aren't dictated by the West, aren't dictated by decision makers in Washington or in Brussels. And that is possible through the discourses and through collaboration, such as the platform that has been given to us by the Honorable Sir Dr. Joe Madu. And so we must continue to work under his guidance and leadership and under the so many wise leaders who are driving us towards this collective consciousness to move forward with local innovation, unlocking scalable solutions for sustainable growth across the continent. And we must do so with the wisdom and the guidance of our elders and our ancestors, knowing the betrayal time and time again of the West, and the indignities that they continue to put upon us, not respecting us as equals, but as far off peoples and resources in the periphery. We are not the periphery. We are the majority of the human population, and we have the wealth of the resources of Mother Africa and of the larger world outside of the West. And so we have to take to that a collective consciousness about how we drive that development discourse on our own terms.
Cecilia, thank you so much. On that word of collective consciousness, aggregation of our fragmented resources, ability to gel and address our issues organically, that brings us to mind our special guest for today. Yes, Dr. Moses Paul is a very highly valued thought leader. I know I have experienced what I call the touch of his humanity, evidenced in positive actions and opinions in both life, community, politics, and general social values. Yes, his PhD, Queen Mother, is head and shoulders above environmental resources planning. He's a servant leader, an advocate for youth sensitization, and he has what I call an organized
back home and how we can connect the dot, especially from where we are. It's uniquely, I don't think it's something that is public news. Nigeria sits the most populous Black race on the face of the earth. And Nigeria also, particularly where I am trying to run for office, is a epicenter of that nuance and that energy. And so it becomes something that, in a way, I have done quite some study, having a PhD in environmental resource planning, diving into anthropology and looking at ancestry and some of the nuances around geopolitics to understand where we're coming from as a people. It's not a subject for today, but just to tell you that a lot of studies have been done around Eastern and Northern Africa, but not much around the West Africa where I live and where the most population of people are in Africa. Today, over 80% of the Black diasporans in terms of ancestry come from this particular geographical area where Nigeria is situated. And not much has been done. And when I have the other opportunity some other time, we can glance through it and I can share some of the new studies that some of us have made that I know would make frontline in a few months and years to come. Because in reality, in trying to connect the dots. The reason why we haven't had so much study, we are on the banks of the Atlantic Ocean. And if you look at so much of the study that has been done, like I said, and following through some of our great ancestors and way back into hundreds and thousands of years ago, you will see that on the northern part of the country, there's a curvature. And then on this other side, you have the Atlantic Ocean. And when you look at some of the thematic studies that have been done, actually, when I break it down, you understand that this particular geographical space seats some of the, it dates back to what we have today as humanity. And that's why we haven't had so much study, but we're chronologically accounting for that. It is important to state here that once that is unveiled, you understand why, even in terms of the British did not create what we have today as Nigeria. This black, huge population of people have always existed here in this part of the world forever, trading and interacting with each other. We have over 600 languages. We have about 250 ethnic tribes here of black people. And we've always been here, And when some of the things we're discovering are actually very staggering. I'm saying this because when you juxtapose this on the modernity of where we are as a people, and you vis-a-vis look at the political culture, in a nutshell, you understand that the middle belt of Nigeria, for example, can feed entire Africa. It has one of the best of land and soils on the face of the earth, and yet Nigeria is unable to feed ourselves because of politically controlled narrative and conjectures that have created the current reality that we are and have today. So if you look at it in terms of economy, we have no reason. As an environmentalist, I can tell you, Abuja, which is the capital of Nigeria, is sitting and home to some of the most precious met with the slave trade is still going on right now, even in Nigeria. And the slave trade we had, our best of people being sold by our people, because the white man did not crush through our borders. Our founding, our great grandfathers were given mirrors and gunpowder